So what do you say when people tell you to shut up? What do you say, how do you respond when people tell you to be silent? People close to you, friends and family and so on. What do you say when they tell you that you shouldn't talk about the whole thing with, the thing in the shoulder, the poke in the shoulder, and the rules and restrictions, lockdowns on and off and all that? Don't mention it. Just go along with it. What do you say? I know that lots of you guys, you are in that situation. You are courageous and you're speaking up about the injustice. And you have people around you telling you to shut up. So what do you do? What do you say? And I think the answer is obvious, isn't it? You speak up even louder. And you tell those people that you will not be silenced. And you know why? It's because we are not cowards. And I'll get back to that, but first of all, to all the new subscribers to the channel, welcome. Wonderful, and thank you for subscribing. And also, if you are new to this channel, let me tell you, I have made a promise. I'm starting to regret it now, but I made a promise I would take a swim in the fjord when this channel reaches 500,000 subscribers. So now we have ice, but I will chop a hole in the ice and I will take a swim in the fjord. It's a promise. At 500,000 subscribers, that's a promise. So hit that subscribe button. So here's the way I view this whole thing. It's a test. We are, each and every one of us, we are being tested. Are you a coward or are you a warrior? And yes, I will use that word, warrior. If you're now speaking up, if you are now fighting for things like bodily integrity, your freedoms as a human being, human rights, if you're fighting for those values now, you are a warrior and you should be proud of yourself. And I have to say, it must be terrible not to have the courage to fight for those things. Because when I say, for instance, as I always say, when it comes to the poke in the shoulder and all that, I believe it must be up to each and everyone to make that choice. Nobody should be coerced, forced, or shamed into making a choice that he or she doesn't want to make. So it should be up to each and everyone to decide for themselves. Now, that's a very moderate thing to say, but for some reason now, me saying that is now, it's almost illegal now to say that. And when I say that, I'm the extremist. That's the sick and twisted state of society right now, and we have to speak up against that. Now, it's a test. You are being tested. Are you a coward or are you a warrior? And there are lots of people out there who, up to this point, they believed that if they saw injustice on this scale, they would fight it. But they're not. They are turning their back on the whole thing, hoping that as long as they just do as they're told, it will soon be over. So let me ask you guys, do you think that this soon will be over? It will not. And as long as people are following orders, as long as people are doing as they're told, this will just keep going. I'm not employed anywhere. I'm a novelist, and I have my Norwegian publisher is, I believe they are people with integrity. I have their support. And I do understand that if you're employed somewhere and your employer says you have to get Big Mac, as they call it, we have to speak in codes now, or else you will lose your job. I understand that you're in a much more difficult situation than I am. And my hat off to you, to you guys who are still, even though you risk losing your job, opposing this. I look up to you. You are examples of what courage is, what a warrior is. So, okay, let me get the kettle on, and we'll keep talking. Now at this point, I guess my channel here has grown and become so large that it's only a matter of time before some Norwegian mainstream media journalist attempts to write a hit piece or something like that, which because what I'm saying here is again, what I'm saying is a very moderate thing to say, but it's become so sick and twisted, and if any of the journalists watching this are planning such a hit piece, my message to you is that please go ahead, do that, write that hit piece, please. I'm begging you. You might not like the outcome though, but do your worst. Being a warrior is about honor. Oh yeah, that's another word that we're not supposed to use anymore. Because it's being used in all the wrong settings these days. But honor, yeah, it is about honor. It is also about respecting yourself. We must do what is right. We must be willing to pay that price for doing the right thing. Living in dishonor, I can't imagine anything worse than that. I would rather starve, to be honest with you, and I can say that there is some substance behind that statement, because I struggled for many years as a writer, as a novelist, before I had my breakthrough, and it was hard. It was very, very hard. I kept writing full time. I kept doing what I wanted to do, and there were times when I won't get so much into it, but people look at Norway and they say, well, it's such a rich country. Well, yeah, but there are poor people in Norway. There are, and I know from first-hand experience. But I guess this video is just me wanting to salute the warriors watching this. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep fighting. You will be remembered as the people who stood up against tyranny, because we are talking about proper tyranny. I know in Norway, to the Norwegian watching this, it's not that bad, you know, relatively speaking. But some of you guys, you live in Australia, you live in Austria, you live in Germany, and it's very, very hard. You are living under tyranny, tyrannical rule. That's what it is. But you're still fighting. And I don't know. It's like I'm so full of, what's the word? Awe? A-W-E. What's the word? Admiration. I'm so full of admiration for you guys. You set examples for all of us. But okay, here's the water boiling. I found one of these among my camping equipment, so pasta for breakfast. I usually have bacon for breakfast, but we'll have some pasta today. So I'll just pour some water in here, like this. I'll put this here. That smell takes me right back to when I was in the Boy Scouts. I'll just leave it for a few minutes like this. Connect with nature and you will find all the answers. I think I read that somewhere. But I know that when you're out in nature, everything becomes obvious in a way. And you will find meaning to most things in life when you connect with nature. But anyway, thanks for watching. There's another video that should pop up here on the end screen that you might want to watch as well. And that's all. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.